Guys, I cannot begin to stress how important today's video is going to be if you're a guy who is going through hair loss. If you're struggling with the anxiety of balding, losing your hair at an early age and you don't know how you're going to cope with it, then today's video will serve as a very important example of the kind of mindset you need to have in order to deal with it in a positive way. Now let me dial it back a bit for those who are new to the channel. One of the many themes of the videos I do on this channel is of course hair loss. You can see for yourself I'm rocking that chrome dome, that bald head. I'm 29 years old now and I've been losing my hair since I was 18. And it was at the age of 24 when I decided enough is enough. My hair loss was progressively getting worse and worse, and with it, my anxiety kept on elevating, and at the same time, my confidence and inner sense of well-being, it was deteriorating. And it was on that day I made the brave decision to face my fear head on and shave my head. It was not an easy decision. This video isn't intended to be one of those just shave it bro messages. It was a real mental hurdle for me, as it is for a lot of guys out there. It really can take over your life. And I feel like a lot of that is to do with the fact that we fear what life will be like without hair. One of the big fears that men will have out there is, how will hair loss affect my dating life? How will it affect the way I am perceived by women? And it certainly doesn't help with the stigma that the media give, portraying guys who go through hair loss at an early age to be basically ugly, losers, unsuccessful, unhappy. A very toxic mentality that is quick to spread. Anyway, thankfully, due to the fact that I've shared my own hair loss journey on this channel, I've been blessed enough to be in a position where I can inspire guys to deal with hair loss in a more positive way. Guys who are in the same boat that I was once in. And often enough I will get messages where guys will ask me for hair loss advice. But today, I actually received a very different message to what I'm used to, and I'm not gonna lie, it took me back a little bit. Basically, the message I got today was from a young woman, and the reason that she messaged me was because her boyfriend was going through hair loss and it was getting to a point where unfortunately it was affecting his well-being. And out of sheer worry for him, she reached out to me so she could get some advice for him. So I'm gonna read out the message for you guys and then I'm gonna talk a little bit more about it. So the message goes, "Hey, I saw one of your videos on YouTube. I'm asking for advice. My boyfriend, 19 years old, is struggling with hair loss. He is really depressed about it. His confidence is very low because of it, and he's constantly scared that I'm gonna leave him because he thinks he's not or won't be attractive for me anymore." That is really shit. He says we are like Beauty and the Beast. But that's not true. I love him and I really want to help him. It's breaking my heart to see him like this. He's even thinking about a hair transplant, but that's very expensive. Is there any way I could help him or anything that he can do to change his perception of him? I thought we could exercise together and try eating clean or find a new hobby, just something that could take his mind off of it. From personal experience, I know that it's good for mental health, but I've never struggled with hair loss, so I don't know what that's like. I can only imagine. Wow. So what's really interesting about this for me is that it totally spins the usual perception. You know, the usual perception is that guys are the ones who will be impacted and affected by hair loss when it comes to dating and relationships. Yet this is a very clear example that, often enough, it is the opposite. The fact that this girl reached out because of how low her boyfriend was feeling about his hair loss shows that it can also impact the people around you. It's funny because guys will often have this mentality that the second they begin to lose their hair, girls will either lose interest or, if you're in a relationship, the girl that you're with will walk away or lose attraction. And yet here we are, with a girl who is literally depressed because of how fearful her boyfriend is. He's so caught up in his own negativity that it's making him look down upon himself, even despite his girlfriend being there at his side telling him that it's not a big deal. And guys, I'm here to tell you today that if you're going through the same thing with your hair loss, your issue isn't going to be the fact that you're losing your hair. Your issue is going to be the way that you handle losing your hair. Many guys will go through this stage of insecurity where even our loved ones' words won't get through to us. And to be honest, when it comes down to it in this situation, if things turn sour for this couple, it would most likely be because this young man chose to reject the positive reinforcement that his girlfriend tried to give him. And that will only push her away. The same is going to apply to you guys out there. If you handle your hair loss in a way where your demeanor, your attitude, the way you carry yourself becomes toxic and negative, then yes, it is going to have an impact on your dating and social life. Because people do not want to be around someone who only lives to put themselves down. I remember talking to my buddy Sean about this. Sean featured on this channel a few months back, and one of the points that he made was how difficult he found it to speak about his hair loss with his wife.
It was getting to a point where if I thought my wife was even hinting about bringing up the topic, I would sort of just shut her down quite aggressively to a point where it was like, no, we don't go there. We never go there. And it was slowly taking over my life at that point. There was nothing anyone could say that was going to get me out of this slump that I was in. You know, you get people saying it's not that bad, it's not that noticeable, it's not. But for me, it was literally the be all and end all.
Now, the reason I bring up Shawn as an example is because he's someone who hit rock bottom when it came to the way hair loss made him feel, even despite the encouragement that he got from his wife. Thankfully, down the line, Shawn was able to tackle his fears head on, and yep, you guessed it, he and his wife are still together and happy. Just keep batting away them stereotypes. Getting back to the message for a minute. The reason I bring up Shawn and what he went through with his wife and how it ties into this situation, Shawn eventually looked himself in the mirror and took action, and that only strengthened his relationship. But the fact is that everyone has a breaking point, and if you're with someone who is encouraging you day in day out that you are enough, that you are good looking, that you are everything they want and they need, and you reject it, it's only going to be a matter of time before your significant other gives up and walks away. So if you're in that situation right now, whether it's to do with hair loss, whether it's to do with the weight you've gained, whatever the insecurity may be, don't dismiss the encouragement that comes from the people who care about you. Don't push it away. I know that in your head, every negative thought that you've allowed yourself to believe about your hair loss and yourself may be stronger right now, but you gotta be able to check yourself on the BS that your mind will convince you to believe at times. Hair loss is not the end of your dating life, and it's certainly not a reason for you to feel less worthy as a person. You're a human being like any of us, and man, we lose shit. We lose hair, we lose looks, we lose our youth, we lose our voice sometimes, as I am right now. We gain wrinkles, we gain weight, we gain stress. But as we evolve, we also gain life experience, we gain wisdom, we gain understanding of who we really are beneath the physical exterior. And that's life, man. That's life. Just know that no matter what you're going through, the energy that you give off to those around you, it means everything. Hair loss or no hair loss, the way you carry yourself and the perception you have of yourself is what will reflect to people first. Anyone focused on the external shit, they're short term, and they sure as hell ain't gonna benefit your life in the long run anyway, so good riddance. On top of that, you only gotta look at the many examples of bald guys out there who have defied the stereotypes. And no, I'm not talking about Jason Statham or The Rock. I'm talking about those everyday people whose names and stories you don't know of. Guys who I've spoken to on this channel like Shawn, Yasin, Justin, Huey. Check out their videos below and hear their stories. All of them confident and positive individuals, embracing the change that life has sprung upon them and just living life to the fullest. Take example of them and recognize that you're not alone on this journey. We've been there, we've done that, and we came out on the other side smiling. It ain't so bad. Trust me. And regardless of how inconceivable the advice I'm giving you right now may seem, I hope myself and the many other examples out there can give you reassurance. Reassurance that you can get through this period of self-doubt. You've got so much more to offer. Once you liberate yourself of that burden and those insecurities, then sky's the limit, man. That's all I can say, sky's the limit. Anyway guys, that is all for today. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification icon to be notified of all the latest content, all that good jazz. My name is Ricky Benang and it's been an absolute pleasure. Take care people, have a good day. I know the feeling that you're feeling, insecurities deepen as you look in the mirror and see that hair receding. It's like you're dreaming, but brother this is real physical traits, we never get to keep them.